remember as a kid always starting a task like a video game or project, having and finding happiness with it, and then growing bored with it, leaving it unfinished. It was just something that happened, whether it was a Wii game or playing an instrument, the same desire and motivation fading into the same anyway. Recently, that feeling anyway began to grow in my chest when working on anything. And so, the tasks became grander, so amazing that if completed, they would dispel my boredom forever. But that never happened. Minecraft, in its simplest form, is a game about blocks. Created by Marcus Pearson in 2009, it has since grown to become the best-selling video game of all time. Minecraft's popularity has thusly permeated into culture, shown through striking songs such as Don't Mine at Night or Revenge. And it is telling how they remain popular both in popular media and in the hearts of children. Gameplay revolves around breaking blocks and crafting them to make items and tools which can be used or placed, respectively. The main appeal of Minecraft revolves around its limitless potential, regarding your ability to create structures of infinite complexity and magnificence. There's something that you can't make, from cities to armadas, and the dizzying sight of what people have made sparks my capacity for wonder, if only for a moment. But that moment soon passes. I remember my first experience with Minecraft, back in the day where the Nether Core reactor was a thing, back in the day where nostalgia did not exist. Despite the various limitations of playing Minecraft on a 5x2-inch phone, it was, to say the least, fun. Nothing compared to constructing an entire city block, but crafting my first item, building my first house, and mining with my first diamond are tangible memories that I'll never forget. Neither would I forget my first night, where I desperately dug a 3-block hole in the dirt, hiding from the zombies and skeletons. Never have I ever felt more in fear in that moment, but it was beautiful in its own way. The game has brought so much to me, and no other has taken up so much of my time. When I was 7 or 8, I started watching Minecraft videos, despite not owning the game yet. One in particular stands out, a channel called Survive and Thrive, which detailed Minecraft tips and tricks. When the series was nearing the end, and the end dimension, the YouTuber told me to subscribe for more. Inexplicably, for the next few days, I couldn't find a new video regarding his journey into the end, and the eventual fight with the Ender Dragon. Because of this, I naturally thought that I needed to subscribe for more, so that I could finish watching the series. I had never subscribed to a content creator before, and the vivid memory of asking a fellow Boy Scout whether subscribing cost money, to which replied, yeah, it's like $5. As a child, I had little access to funds of that magnitude, so I never watched another video in that series. To this day, I still can't remember the purpose of that trip, nor its location, yet that one interaction remains in my mind. Memory is a strange thing. However, our memory is a more perfect world than the universe. It gives back life to those who no longer exist. The past of me is gone, and now what remains isn't wonder but apathy. I remember that moment where apathy came upon me, where the envy on my chest grew to an unbearable level, when I realized that all that I built was nothing more than itself, standing and seeing the vast expanse of mushroom-shaped trees, a land that I would never conquer, and never would. In my quest to build something of worth in the game, it became infinitesimal. Okay though, how does this relate to Minecraft? Couldn't I have had an existential crisis in another game? Like Terraria or Stardew Valley? And that's true. But Minecraft, in the way one plays it, can demonstrate a clear example of futility. For example, the game's story is self-defeating in a way. Let's compare it to Breath of the Wild, a masterpiece of a game similar to Minecraft. As a player in Breath of the Wild, you can already see the goal, and you already know the goal, which is defeat Ganon. You can see the goal through the visible effects in the world, such as with the corrupted blights, and you have the power to reverse his influence by defeating them. The only influence of, well, the end dimension and the overworld another are Endermen, and although you can defeat them, what happens after? The other dragon isn't even a villain, in a sense. Sure, you beat her because, well, the game demands so, but there really is no motivating reason. She's not evil, she doesn't do anything bad to you. Well, except for attack you. But that's in self-defense. You kill her because she's there. Granted, even if the dragon fight is climactic in its own right, and the challenge of beating a boss mob because it's there is worth something, what happens after you kill the dragon? You can access the end and loot an elytra from an end city, but not much else happens. The Endermen are still there, as they always were. The lack of a motivating factor, along with the visible effects of defeating the dragon, exemplifies a self-defeating story, one that pushes you to a goal that ultimately means nothing. Story aside, one way that Minecraft exemplifies futility is through the world itself. This is in the sense of how the Minecraft world feels lonely. If you look around, you can see it. Abandoned portals, mine shafts, and shipwrecks are all across the land, or sea, and when encountering one, they seem forgotten and desolate. Vines litter the walls of the cobblestone temple, hidden among the jungle trees, while, inside the mine shaft, only poisonous spiders dwell, and other hostile monsters. Even in the sea, it's no different. The shipwrecks lie toppled on the beach or completely flipped over on the ocean floor, while the granite-built ocean ruins made of, well, granite or cobble bear witness to a place once not submerged, once above water. Somehow, someone had built this world's structures, then forgot them, leaving for nature to reclaim. Even the village, the one place aside from bastions, where you can encounter beings like you, can be seen abandoned, populated by decaying hostas and zombie villagers. And even the structures are specks in the vast landscape. There are no cities, no large civilizations, not even a state or government in the game of Minecraft. In this solitude, the game displays the futility of action, how what you make is small compared to the largeness of the world, how your world will eventually reclaim your works into nothing. Stories don't end like this, though. Where's the hope? What's the point? If what we do is meaningless, then why try at all? First, let's try to explain the gaping contradiction that many of you may have noticed. If it was worthless, if we shouldn't have tried at all, then why then did people do it? Why then did they create those grand structures in the first place? And that's valid. To look at man and see him create what he has made despite the world's inevitability to destroy is a sort of tension. Camus explains this in the myth of Sisyphus. Quote, "Man stands face to face with the irrational. He feels within him his longing for happiness and for reason. The absurd is born of this confrontation between the human need and the unreasonable silence of the world." End quote. The tension between the uncaring world and our life in it is the absurd, then, shown through the magnitude of the universe to our brief lives. But why, then, did they create? If and because it's meaningless, what's the point in doing anything? Camus rejects this method of thinking, though, saying that it's the coward's way out. Instead, we should reject the absurd through loving it, shown through the quote, "We must imagine Sisyphus happy." In the myth, the main character, condemned by the gods due to him locking death in his closet, to push a boulder up a hill endlessly, knows the meaninglessness of his task, yet lets go and becomes content with it. And in doing so, he rebels against the absurd, the nature of the meaninglessness of the task, through embracing it, Instead of denying the lack of meaning in works, Camus advocates for us to realize it and embrace it in order for us to ultimately reject it. And with us, I guess it's the only thing we can do. You can deny it all you want, but in the end, it's there. When you look out the expanse, the uncaring world that we can never conquer, the dirt house that meant so much but is so little, and at ourselves of being onto death, all we can do is hope in spite of it. That flower that you see grasping up through the concrete in the alley, it knows that it will never reach the sky, but hopes anyway, not for an object, but for itself. But it's not about Minecraft, is it? It's about life. They say that art imitates life, and that's true in many different ways. Still, it's just a game, so take what you will from it. In the end, though, as always, my opinion. Minecraft is a reminder how you've built nothing in your quest to become God, to affirm yourself as above something other than yourself. You only affirm yourself as man. The monolith, that goal once finished, now only affirms the absurd. And yet, it's beautiful in a way. To recognize that your work is nothing, yet delight in it, is a core facet of existence. To love and yet know how it ends. Hey guys, thanks for watching this video. If you've got thoughts, questions, suggestions, you can leave me a comment. Again, thank you for taking some time out of your day to listen to me nerd out about philosophy in Minecraft. I'll probably make more videos about, well, social issues, maybe games, but yeah. Thanks for taking some time out of your day, and I hope that you enjoyed it and took something away from it. Okay, laters.